Hello everyone. It is actually Friday evening, although we probably won't get this out until Saturday morning, just with edits and whatnot, but I wanted to stop in a little bit early and be very casually here to say hello to you. We are well into false spring here in northern Nevada, so I've been enjoying every minute of it, and I get to garden and plant seeds, and it's glorious. I am fully prepared that we'll have a freeze before real spring, and I'll have to protect a few plants, but that's okay because I get to work in the garden and I love it. So it's great to see you again. We're going to jump right in with stitching in action. And this video we have Tanya, who has 3 stitching in actions to share. First up, she did the turtle, and this comes from the Autumn Mermaid chart, and she used vintage teal Murano fabric to give the effect of water, which I think it does beautifully. And then she did just the otters from Summer Valentine, not the text, used the same background fabric and stitched them without their little bathing suits so that they look like a pair in the water together. And I think they came out so well. I love that they look like they're meant to be together. So well done on those two, Tanya. Then she said she had Pigeon and Puddle and it was almost finished, but she wanted to go ahead and get it done so she could send it in. Her fabric was too light for the originally white narcissus to show up, so she switched those to a light yellow so they would show against the fabric. And then she stitched the pigeon reflection in the pond with half stitches instead of full stitches. So I really like the effect. She said it made it softer, made it more like a reflection, and I think that's a really great tip and came out beautifully. So thank you so much, Tanya, for sharing those with us. On to what I'm stitching. I finished the Cicadas song sampler from Cosford and I'm so happy. I love the way it turned out. I have it all packed up to go to Acorns and Threads for framing. I just can't wait to have it on my wall. It was such a delightful stitch. Oh, pardon me. Sometimes I get to talking and it's like I use up all my oxygen, so my brain gets a little tired. But it was so much fun, this one. It took me almost a year to do it, and not to work on it all the time. Obviously, I took a lot of breaks, but I really enjoyed every minute that I got to put in on that one, so it was a real delight. But that also means I get to move on to the Dunl Memorial sampler, and after much hemming and hawing and pulling all of the samplers out of my stash and all of the dachshund patterns out of my stash, and I have quite a few, I was a little surprised, but yeah, there are a lot. I finally decided to do, this is the Beehive sampler from Moira Blackburn. And I know I've talked about this one before because I love it. I actually have 2 versions of this. This is the one with a better photograph, but it's one of those that's printed on the giant sheets. So I have bought another version that's printed on the modern single sheets, but has a terrible photograph. So I am going to do this one. I'm going to keep the border mostly as is, but here, where there's a line of just the grass and the trees, I'm going to put dachshunds in facing instead of the trees. Here, there are little swans in the water, and I'm going to make those little killdeer instead, because Dunkel really loved to chase the killdeer when we would go walking around the pond. He thought that was just wonderful. And then, let's see, there's a squirrel and a rabbit down here on these bottom corners. I'm going to keep those, and I may make some other changes. I'm going to leave the greyhound here. And we'll see what else comes along as I go around. But I'm really excited to do this one. I've wanted to stitch it for a long time. And I think it'll have good places for text and be something that I'll really enjoy seeing as a Dunl Memorial. So as soon as I finish a little bit of model stitching right now, I will get to stitch on the Dunl Memorial sampler. And I am really looking forward to that. On to Stash Spotlight. It is 2 sets of new threads from Market. It's very common for thread makers to release new colors, as fabric makers do as well. So the first set here, see if I can hold them all at once, is from Weeks Dye Works. I love these. These are a little bit more vibrant spring colors, which I think is great. I really like these sort of orangey, corally colors, and I like this one too. It's called Catmint, this purple one. Catmint is one of the first ones that's come up in the garden, so that's always one of my favorites, and the bees really love it, so I like that color quite a bit. And then I also picked up the new ones from Gloriana. This is a softer springtime palette. Gosh, these are so pretty. Really pale spring colors. They're just beautiful. I'll get them up here. I think this is the hardest part, is holding all of them up at once, but you can see they're beautiful soft colors. I love that blue on the end, and then the one wisteria on the other end here. We, this time of year, go check our wisteria vine every single day because we've lived here for a long time. We never really have known how to take care of that, but it's been a lot healthier the last couple of years because we've been better at learning what it wants. But it's always a little bit late to leaf out, and so every year we check on it every single day to see if it's doing anything yet, make sure it made it through the winter. So we're on wisteria watch all the time, so that's particularly fun for me. So those are my stash spotlights, and you may already see these in your local or online shop. They're beautiful colors. On to World Around. It is on my mind because of gardening, and so what I chose is earthworms. And I am very excited about earthworms because they're so good for the garden. They live where there are food, air, and water for them. So that is my job as the gardener, to give them food, air, and water. They eat their own body weight every single day. They don't have lungs, so they breathe through their skin, and they have 5 hearts to pump their blood, or their blood equivalent. In a single acre of healthy land, you could have 1 million earthworms. Now, I don't have anything like healthy land on our lot here. Nevada soil is notoriously not great, and ours has had landscape fabric on it for a long time, which has made it particularly not great, but at least in the garden beds, I'm making some progress. So hopefully, I'm nowhere near 1 million earthworms, but there are some, and that's good. They are cold-blooded, and they help the garden by moving between the layers of soil and helping them mix together. They aerate the soil, so they need the air, and they also help provide it to the soil. They can replace lost body parts, which is so cool. And here's something I didn't know. Baby earthworms are not born live. They hatch from tiny cocoons. And I particularly know that because I went to the store, the nursery, to get earthworms for the garden, and I got, a container of earthworms. But I also got a container of baby earthworm cocoons. So those are there for the new flower beds. I need to put them out this weekend. So I had no idea. Tiny baby earthworm cocoons. Isn't that cool? They don't have eyes, but they can still sense light. And in fact, they become paralyzed if they're exposed to the light for too long. I had no idea about that either. The largest species of earthworm comes from Australia. Of course it does. It is the Gippsland earthworm. Grows to about 12 feet long and weighs 1.5 pounds, which is a little bit terrifying. The largest worm ever found was in South Africa and was 22 feet long. But lest you be too afraid of the earthworms, a single growing young robin can eat up to 14 feet of earthworms in a day. So they don't have it all their own way. Questions? Last video, what are you most looking forward to right now? And I loved hearing from everybody the things that they're looking forward to. I think it's so important, especially these days, to have bits of joy scattered ahead of us, to have joyful things that we can look forward to. So I was so glad to hear from so many of you the things that you have that you are really excited about, and that's awesome. Question this video is favorite spring food. What is your favorite thing that comes into season this time of year, or autumn food if you're in the southern hemisphere? I think for me it's probably strawberries. I know for us this time of year a lot of things are coming out for the first time, and all of that lovely fresh produce is wonderful, but strawberries are one of our earliest things here, and they are just amazing. It's something we grow so we can get it right away, and yeah, particular favorite. All right, best thing this video, lilacs, my favorite flowers, and ours are blooming just in the last day or two. The first ones in our yard this year was a white variety called Mount Baker, and it's gorgeous. I love them. I get to go out about every hour and just enjoy that amazing fragrance, and they make me so happy. I'll have to post a picture online before I forget because they're just beautiful. Okay, moving on to giveaway from the last video. It is this amazing kit of the stunning 4 Fields sampler from Needlework Press with the 4 beautiful fields and the backstory, the research, the history, all of that to go with it. The word to use was field, because I was very basic, and the winner is at Diane McClure 6884. So Diane, drop me an email with your mailing address and I will get that in the mail to you. Giveaway this video is also from Sampler Guild of the Rockies, courtesy of their generosity. This is the Tussie Mussie Pincushion Kit, and this has everything you need to make this darling pincushion. Isn't that so pretty? And they're not quite lilacs, but they're beautiful purple flowers. Some of them are purple. There's some white ones in there too, and they look a little bit like lilac leaves. Like I said, the kit has everything, even there's a little bag of lavender in there. So use the word flower in your comment, and I will pick a winner from the next video to see who can have that, and you'll be able to do that little pincushion pillow just in time for spring. On to announcements. There's not a lot from me at the moment. I'll be at the Barefoot Needle Art in a couple of weeks teaching a class for a beach muffin and a little muffin pincushion that you can do in the class. I'm really looking forward to that. It's full speed ahead right now, trying to catch up on designing after all of the market craziness, so that takes up my free time. And we have a little bit of a puppy video at the end. I have a puppy in the office here. Oops, going the wrong direction. There we go. See if you can see. There's a Rye, or a Rye's bum, in the office with me. But that's it for me today. So I'm going to go ahead and do these edits. If they get done in time, I'll put this up tonight. If not, I will see you tomorrow morning. And I look forward to chatting with you again in a couple of weeks. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. Talk to you later. Bye.